is interesting. Okay, I found it on Indeed.com, the job site. I went and I applied for like 50 different remote jobs. Um, but this is kind of interesting. I saw a vlog and a guy told me about teaching English and stuff like that. But this is really interesting. This particular site is based out of Japan, and they hire you to teach people how to speak English. And it's not hard, as long as you have a quiet place, you have a good backdrop, or just kind of a plain wall, or a place nice and neat, because you're going to be on camera. You're going to be on the webcam. Um, it's better if you have a headset and all that with a mic, but you can do it, on a webcam on a laptop. They don't want you to use your phone or an iPad or anything like that. They want you to use, like a laptop, notebook, computer. And it runs 24 hours. The biggest money is like after midnight till 6 in the morning, because that's better hours for the people in the Orient. It's not hard to sign up. I did my resume. I put it on Indeed. And then I found it on Indeed. Hello, hello. How are you? And then it took me to their website, and I just made my own sign in there. That was very simple. And then they ask you like 10 questions, to fill out your address, things like that. And then you do not have to have a teaching degree. I taught school for several years, and but I didn't have a degree for that. I have other degrees. But anyway, so it's not required to have a teaching degree to do this. Uh, and you need to be 18 or over. It would be an ideal job for a teenager. Um, so the biggest problem is doing your first class, which is your test. You have to do a class with somebody that works for Native Camp, and then they grade you on that, and then you can go ahead and start teaching. And so anyway, what you do is the first thing they want you to do is like a 40 or 50 question test, and it's like, pick A, B, C, or D type thing. And all it is sentences and which word fits in the sentence better. Um, so basically, it just tells them that you can talk properly, and or like, you're able to write a sentence. Hey, what's going on? You should be able to speak real clearly. All your consonants, all your vowels. That's a real big plus. Um, but it's a neat little job for people that have some extra time. Um, it would be great for an older person. It'd be great for a younger person. If you want a cool little side job, the pay is about like a beginning DoorDasher. Um, and it's it's really interesting. They have a lot of bonuses for how many classes you do. You get paid more if you have a scheduled class than if you just go in there and pick up classes. The classes are 25 minutes. They don't want you to do a bunch of yip yapping or anything. They just want you to read the scripture, which is, some words, and then some sentences, and maybe a little bit of role playing, like a sample conversation between a girl and a guy using the same words. And you have them repeat it, 1 to 3 times. And it's really neat. And then they grade you, and then you can grade them too. It's sort of like, oh, like a review, like when you purchase something. Your hard drive come, find out it was scammed. No. That's terrible. Man, yeah, I used to buy used hard drives and stuff online, and that's problematic because you don't know where it come from. It was actually illegal to sell computers anymore used with used hard drives. They would rip them out, which is really a pain in the butt because then you got to go order one. But try Newegg. There's a website called Newegg. You might like that. They have some pretty cool deals. They got a really good computer scanner to see if you have enough RAM in your computer. It's really neat. But yeah, so um, uh, the way they pay you is through a pay app thing. It's not PayPal. It's I can't think of the name of it. Payoneer is what it's called. Yeah, I got that app. I got my motherboard from them. They make excellent motherboards. And so the Payoneer is going to take a small cut, and then Native Camp takes about uh, um, like 10% in taxes. It's sort of like being a YouTuber, they take a cut because you're using their site. And well, here's a scammer. And so, see you later, De La Coda, with your scammy stuff. Anyway, so the funniest thing is, like, when I went on YouTube to look at some videos about Native Camp, it was like every one of them was from a Filipino or something, and every other sentence is like in Philippine, and it's so hard to follow what they're saying when they just all of a sudden snap into another language. And another one had music going the whole video, which was ridiculous. I did find one lady, a black lady, that was, American and speaks English and all that. And she's a newbie, going through the processes and stuff, signing up. But it's really easy to sign up with them. Impressively easy, actually. I liked it a lot because I had done so many applications yesterday online with Indeed. And it was like, then they want you to do this questionnaire and they want you to do a test. And it was just like, my gosh. And then some of them wanted you to go on their website and fill out all of their stuff. And it's like, why? I already did a resume, forget it. If you're listed on Indeed, just take it. And always read the ratings on Indeed from other employees, because the negative ones are really interesting on these jobs. But they have several of these English teaching things like this, Native Camp. They've got Schoolie, VIP Kid, Dada, Q Kids, iTutor Group. Some of them do require educational certification stuff. You need to have a plain background behind you, or a plain wall is a good idea. But the music is louder, they use the text to speech. Oh, it's horrible. I don't know what possesses these people to put that music on when you're trying to listen to them. It's so distracting when they're telling you important information. It's like if you watch a mechanic video and these guys got some headbanger stuff going full blast, and they're kind of rattling a couple words here and there, and you can't hear a thing they're saying. And it just drives you crazy, and you can't mute it because you're trying to hear what they're saying on occasion. So yeah, it's really bad. I mean, I don't think these people even watch their vlogs to see how horrible they are. They're so stoned, they just think, well, it's cool, we'll play a good song and maybe everybody will hang out. But anyway, it's the way that the pay is done, because it don't exactly tell you when you sign up. The pay is done twice a month, and the way the classes are done, it's like on the spot class. Like if you go in there and sign it, get on the website and open your page, you can sit there and wait for students, and those on the spot classes, you only get paid like $5 a class, and that's 25 minutes. But I mean, if you do 2 classes, it's $10 an hour. So the better money is if you have scheduled classes, so you can make your own schedule, and you get around $8 for a half-hour class. So that means you're getting around $16 or more for your hour class. And then they have the bonuses for if you do so many classes, in a day, in a week, in a month. And, if you really knock out a whole bunch of classes, they give you a good bonus. If you get other people to sign on, they give you a bonus to the person that signs on and you, which is really neat. And they need instructors. They really need instructors bad right now. There's a lot of people wanting to learn English. And what they're doing a lot of times is they'll have a special for the students, people that are prospective students, where they get 1 hour free test trial for like 1 hour or something. So that's automatic 2 classes right off the top that you could catch. And so they decide if they like it or not, and you're teaching kids, adults, just everybody. So it's really kind of interesting, but it's fun. It's real simple. It's super simple. If you see their demos and stuff, because they want you to watch their demos of how they teach and all that, and it's just really simple. Everything's there on the screen. What the teachers' lines are in red, and then the blue is from the teacher's book, and then the orange is the emphasis. Yeah, it really is quite interesting. And if you need some extra side money, it's kind of a cool thing. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. But ooh. Oh man, I just washed my hair, so my hair's wet and I'm sneezing. It's it's what you make it. Really, it's how much you want to work. As long as you've got $30 worth of pay, it'll go through your paycheck. So you got to get at least $30 coming to you in classes that you taught for it to go on the payroll. And pay you, or they're going to hold it up for the next time or something. And then you get badges before you start scheduling classes, where you open up your schedule for when you're available. If you'll go get your badges first, which is sort of like working for Walmart, you watch a video and then you get a badge for that. And it's for different types of teachings. If you're doing conversation, if you're doing just words, if you're doing sentences, for all kinds of different stuff. So the more badges you get, the better it is, because the customer looks at that and says, wow, I like this teacher because they have 6 badges and this other one doesn't have any. And they see what your badges are in, and if it's stuff they're interested in, then obviously they're going to sign up with you. And if they like you, they'll keep signing up with you. And that's a really good thing, because then you have regulars, okay? And but they don't want you to yip yap during the class, and carry conversations and all this stuff. They just really want you to read the script. It's just like reading a script for a play. You have your part you read, and they have their part they read, and they repeat, several times. They're watching you on the webcam, the way your mouth is shaped, the tone of your voice, to, understand how to speak the language. And English is one of the hardest languages there are. No lie. That's a fact. Um, and it's intriguing because, to me, I think one of the harder languages would be French, or, some of these Oriental languages, the Japanese or Chinese. Um, Filipino is easier. I know a little bit of Filipino, but it's because I have friends that are Filipino and they taught me. But the thing, I was so turned off with YouTube. I must have looked at like 30 vlogs, and they speak half English and half Filipino, and it is so aggravating to try to follow what they're saying. Because they, one sentence is, hi, how are you? And the next sentence is blah, 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 blah. The next sentence is, okay, and the sun is shining today. And the next sentence is blah, 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 blah. And it just drives you crazy. So I could only find one vlogger that spoke English and was American. And the whole thing was in English. You kind of hate your voice. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. As long as you can speak good English, or you can pronounce words, clearly, that's all that matters. I mean, an old person can do it, a young person can do it. They hire at 18 and up. This would be so ideal. This would have been the coolest job during the pandemic. At the beginning of the shutdown, it would have been an ideal job where you could just sit for like 24 hours and teach English to the people overseas. And so you would have an income, the only downfall to it is, for me, honestly, is that it pays like a regular job does, every 2 weeks. I think it would be better if they paid by the day or by the week. Would be a much better deal. But, there's people who've taught on there for a while, and they really, really like it. But, I mean, like I say, it's a 25-minute class, It's all you got to do is do 25 minutes with one student. That's a class, and so that's not too bad. It's not an 8-hour, class or stuff like that, It's just, one class at a time, one student at a time. They're on video just like you. And these spammers, they're amazing. There's another one. Bye bye. Yeah, but yeah, this you can go directly on their website and apply if you want to at Native Camp, and you start work in 2 to 3 days. They just, as a matter of fact, they just sent me an email. I haven't done my first sample class with somebody that works there. You have to wait till like after midnight to do that. It's after midnight till like 11 in the morning is the time for your sample class. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that tonight. I may just do it in the morning. But after that, it's 24 hours, 7 days a week. So, you could schedule any of those times. And there's some times that are better than others, like, 11 p.m. and on, or like the hot times to open your schedule up. I mean, you can teach pretty much as many classes as you want. If you want to schedule 50 classes, you can do that. The only thing is that if you want to cancel a class, so you don't get fined for it, is you want to cancel before 24 hours. Anytime before 24 hours, you can cancel. As many classes you want, all that. But after that 24 hour, it breaks down, it's like 24 hours, and it's the 20-hour mark, and it's the 10-hour mark, and it's 30 minutes before. That gets higher as you go, and they deduct from your payroll. If you start canceling, like say you did $50 in classes, and then you got a bunch of classes, that you want to cancel, and it's less than 24 hours before those classes are supposed to be held, you might lose that whole $50. So you want to try to get, cancel your stuff. If you have something that, is an important thing to do, and before 24 hours of those classes, then, you want to make sure and cancel that before that time period. But like I say, you can work anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you want to work 1 hour a day and do 2 classes a day every day, you can do that. I mean, you could just do whatever you want. If you want to pull a full 8 hour shift or 12 or 20 or however many hours, you could do as many as you want. But it's really simple. It's amazing how simple it is to teach them. And you don't really need anything except for a laptop and a good background. A wall or something simple and plain, you know. So it's not like you gotta buy a bunch of supplies and all that stuff. Because all you're doing is reading stuff. I mean, they just want you to be really simple. And they don't want you to dress it up and all that. Just read the lines and that's it. I mean, it was oddly easy to me. Very oddly easy. So, uh, you know, but if you win a lot of regulars, you can be easily booked out. So if you have, a lot of time, you can book yourself out every single day with regulars. But I mean, otherwise, there's still a ton of people looking for, teachers. So, um, you shouldn't have any trouble, scheduling in at all. You just make up your schedule with them for what shifts you want to be open, what hours, what half hour sessions or whatever. You just schedule all those, and then they just fill up and you have classes. So, now the big trick would be is if you go and jump on in there, I wonder how far ahead you have to schedule your openings so you don't have to take the, instant classes right there where you get paid less. I wonder if you can go in there and just start scheduling some stuff for that hour and see if somebody signs up. I wonder how much time you have for your schedule to be, rolling. But it's really intriguing. I'm going to try it. I've got to do, I'll go on there in a minute and see what it says on the site. Because it says I need to do my description and all that stuff, my setup for my page, so that, the customer's parents or the customer can read about me. And thank you for the 2 thumbs up. And decided they want to use me for a teacher or try me out one time. And so they want me to do that little setup thing. And so this is Native Camp, and you teach English to foreign people. And it's like $16 and up per hour. If you do a lot of classes and stuff, they give you bonuses and stuff. But you can do scheduled classes. They're 25 minutes, 25, 30 minutes each. And then if you just jump in there and do an on-the-spot class, like sign up online and just sit there and wait for somebody to show up, it's only like $5 for those classes. So you're talking like $10 an hour. But if you do, booked classes where you, open your schedule for whatever half-hour shifts you got for, your classes, and then they sign up for their little class, and those booked classes, you're making like $8 a class, and then so that works out to about $16 an hour. I mean, there was a lot of those remote jobs on Indeed. A lot of them were paying $8 and $9 an hour, and it's like, whoa. And then some of them were strictly commission. And I don't like commission too good. I did that, I did that in clothing sales, which was a piece of cake for me. Commission versus payroll, payroll plus commission, stuff like that. And then I worked a periodical company in Marina Del Rey, California, years ago. And I had a nice office overlooked the ocean and all that kind of stuff. And they had a big thing in the newspaper about the job and everything. It was just really a luxurious description. And the bad part was my car got towed away there. Um, and they didn't give parking permits or anything. And so when they saw the car every day, I guess they decided that it was abandoned. And they towed it away one day, and I had to pay to get the car back. It was like $250 to get my car back. That's when I got off work. I came down, and my car was gone. I was pissed. And the company wouldn't pay it or anything. Plus, my paycheck, I worked there like a month, and like my first paycheck was like $30 or something. And I was pissed. Because, they don't exactly tell you in the interview when you go there to interview. They tell you all this bull crap to make you believe you're going to make, hundreds of dollars. And they don't exactly tell you the real facts. They just kind of lead you on. And so what happened was they give you this computer printout stack of people's phone numbers and names. And you have to sit there and cold call people. And it was called Periodical Publishing Company, was the name of the company. And so you have a list of magazines, and then you call these people and they answer the phone and you go, "Hi, I'm from Periodical Publishing Company. Would you like 5 free magazines?" And they go, "Well, yeah." And or they go, "And what's the catch?" And so you go through this big spiel, like 5-minute spiel. And then they go, "Well, okay, that sounds cool. I'll do that." And then you got to hit them with, "Well, I can give you 6 more for free if you want to pay $1." And they're like, "Well, okay." And so then you go through and have them, select the ones they want that you read off. Or you ask them what they like to read about, like if it's cars or cooking or fashion. And you read off the titles of those magazines, and they go, "Yep, yep, 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 yep." So you check all that off. You filled your paper out. You got a piece of paper in front of you. You got to put their name, their address, their phone number, the best time to catch them, all that stuff. And then you turn that in. So you sign somebody up. The problem was that they have a guy that goes out in a car with all your customers' papers, and they go to the door and they go see them in person, and then they try to sell them a bunch of other crap. And so 75% of the time the customer goes, "Just forget it." It's sort of like selling a car. It's like, okay, so you con him into taking the car, for dirt cheap. And then a second guy goes out and wants to sell you the carport, and cable TV and all this other stuff. And they get pissed off and go, "Forget it." And so that's what it's like. And they ruin your sales, when you get the people, ready to sign up and everything, and they're sweet as pie, and you're having nice conversation, and they just freaking send the dude out and he trashes the whole thing for you. So now you've lost the commission for that sale. And so I had worked there like a month, and I was there every day, and you had to be there like at 7 a.m. or something. And then you worked till, like, you had to be there till at least 5. You had like one lunch break. It was like 20 minutes. And you could work after 5 if you wanted. But I mean, it was like you didn't get hourly pay. So it turned out it was all commission based. And when you talk to them about it and go, they're like, oh, here's your check. They come around handing checks out. And you're going, why is my check like $27 for 4 weeks of work? You know? And they're like, but that's what you made, and I could show you, and they're all chipper and happy, and it's like, man, these chumps, because all you do is spend all day is dialing the phone, dialing the phone, dialing the phone. And I don't like all that cold calling stuff. I do not like it. It's I hate it if people do it to me. And I don't like bothering people, you know. A lot of them would just let you roll on like they just laid the phone down and walked away, you know. um, and it's just like, they're not even listening to you when you could have been on another call. But yeah, so I'm not a big fan of that cold calling crap, at all. I looked at some Indeed jobs last night, and some of them would say no cold calling, and then it would have some other description on the bottom, which was cold calling. And it's like, I do not want to do that. So in Amazon jobs, there's like nothing unless you're a superior tech of some sort. You're like a systems analyst, which I'm not that. Um, uh, I'm, not like the computer wizard, but I'm close. But still, I'm not, a systems analyst or anything like that. So, and, I got some of mine in college, and the rest was just on my own. Um, you know, but, yeah. But those tech jobs, you can make some really good money. But there's a million remote jobs. I mean, I cannot believe how many remote jobs there are. It is hard to believe how many remote jobs there are on Indeed. Um, just it goes for miles, on there. So I applied for like 50 of them last night, all remote stuff. So I don't know. We'll see what happens on that. Otherwise, I'm getting ready to open my Amazon account back up. If that works, would be great. Um, because this other site has been crap slow for all the sellers this year. Everybody was complaining about November, December, how it's the absolute worst year ever on that site. And it's a terribly dragging site. I mean, well, thank you so much. Um, uh, but if you go on Shark Tank, there's so many people that get on there and go, yeah, I sold 40 million, pieces on Etsy. And they're like, wow. And it's like, I can't imagine anybody selling 40 million and nothing on Etsy. I don't care what it is. Um, I'm just not seeing it. I think it's a crappy little site. It's I mean, some of the worst sites are like Bonanza and stuff like that. I've tried those too, and they're really, I've never made one sale on Bonanza. I've never made one sale on Instagram. Somebody talked me into that a couple years ago, and I put like 80 ads up on there. I sold nothing. Absolutely nothing. And and I sell a variety of things. I do children's, I do adults, I do jewelry, I do shoes, I do all kinds of things. But so if I can't sell any of that, you can't sell nothing. I even do bath and body products. Geez, yeah. So Amazon is so much better. It covers a lot more people. A lot of people use it, and they pay about every 2 weeks, but it's not that expensive. It's not as expensive as eBay. eBay's like renting a storefront. eBay's insane, ridiculous on the money. And now Amazon doesn't do PayPal, so you have to have a brick and mortar bank account or use like Ally, and it's really hard. I had signed up with Ally before, and it was so hard to get that Ally bank account coordinated with Amazon. It was a living nightmare. So you can get a real brick and mortar, down the street bank That's your better option. And you can go in there and tell them, look, it's for business, you know, and they'll sign you up. Um, you know, you can do a regions account, and I think it's like 50 or 100 to sign up, you know, and they'll give you a card right there that day. So you have a debit card in your hand. It's just a goofy system the way they do their banking. It's really primitive. It's like somebody's grandpa invented it or something. I'm not real a fan of their system at all. But yeah. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna jump off here in a minute. They approved you for Amazon business account again. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So I'm gonna see if I can get back on there. They told me to sign back up, and so I'm gonna try it and see if it works. Because I would like to get on there, but I don't think I'll take the pro account right off the top. I think I'm just gonna do the regular, where you sell 40 or under items at a time. It's better to get the pro account, and I'll tell you why. Because you can make your own ads, and you don't have to use somebody else's ad, and you can change the prices of your shipping and handling, so that it's worth it. Because unless you're printing their shipping labels and all that crap, which I don't want to hook up a bank account to do that, because that sucker might get hijacked from here to New York. I like to do my own shipping, and I take it directly to the post office. That's exactly what I do. And I don't ship overseas. I'm done with that. Learned my lesson long ago. And I've talked to other sellers about the same thing. Forget it. So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna try this native camp, see if I like it. Um, a lot of people do. Uh, I think, if you rig it right, you'd probably do okay. I mean, even if you worked like, say you did 4 classes a day, every day, that's not bad at all. If you make your own schedule, just doing like 4 classes a day. I mean, you could get fancy. You can schedule like 50 classes, at a time. Um, but it seems interesting. You know, uh, I don't know how they have a lot of these foreigners teaching English and they can't speak good English themselves. Especially if you get like an Arab on there, you know how they talk. They have that real heavy accent. You'll see YouTubers that are Arabic, and have you ever clicked on their vlog and it's like you don't understand a word they are saying. They talk so fast and they have a super heavy accent. You cannot understand them at all. So the big thing is, if you can speak clear English, you sound out your consonants, you sound out your vowels, so that because they're just going to repeat after you. They're going to copy what you're saying in the class. So that's how they learn. You read, a sentence and they read the sentence, and then, you read another sentence and they read the sentence. So that's how they're learning, by seeing the way your mouth works and hearing and looking at the expression on your face. So that's how they're learning. It's amazing because, like I say, English is one of the hardest languages. Absolutely. They say it's the absolute hardest language on earth. Um, me, because I speak English, I would think all the other languages are harder, but it's not true. English is, in fact, the hardest language on earth. I think a lot of it's because there's so many meanings for one word, like bad, bad, and bad. Now the new one is sick. Oh, that's sick. And sick has a different meaning, for me. It's like somebody's sick. That's sick. That means it's twisted. That's gross. And now sick is like, really bad to the bone. I think English, Chinese, Japanese, Arabic are challenging language. That Japanese, when they talk, have you ever listened to that? And they go, it's just kind of like a whisper and a lot of sh. And it's intriguing. I love the writing. Oh, it's so pretty. It's like serious artwork. Um, but yeah, yeah, I would think so. I took French and it was disgusting. That was such a hard class. I didn't do any good there. And I spoke Spanish before I learned Spanish in school, and I took lots of Spanish in school. So, I had a problem with that, and it's really useful in work. I highly recommend it to anyone. If you speak English, the next thing you need to know is Spanish. It's really, really important. Because, a lot of the Mexicans come here to work and they make really good money. Spanish and Italian, really? Oh my gosh. And uh, you get a lot of them coming to stores and they don't speak any English just yet. They're learning. And, they're working their butt off and they got a pocket full of money and they want to make a purchase, but they can't, you know, explain what they want to buy if you don't understand any Spanish. So, Spanish really, really helps in business. You'll catch a sale if you know some Spanish, where other people will never get it. And they get mad when they speak Spanish. Well, you know, how would you like it if you went to a country and you don't speak their language? I mean, and people are trying to be kind to you and understand you, it's the same way if it were for you. So, try to help them because they're willing to learn. They're willing to learn our language and they really like our money. So, um, try to teach them, help them a little bit and learn their language so you can talk to them and make that sale and make yourself some money. It's making your paycheck wherever you work, you know. Don't shut them off. Well, I'll tell you, even in the nightclubs, I've told girls, boy, you need to learn some Spanish because that's your easiest $100 bill right there. Boom. All day long. You know. So, but yeah, I'm gonna try it and see, how I like it. I like the fact that you don't have to teach like a solid 8-hour day or something like that. Um, you just schedule classes, 25, 30 minutes long, each one of them. So that's pretty cool. It's like, you teach for 25, 30 minutes and then you go take a break or whatever, and then, do your next class. And you can do it, on the spot or you can do a scheduling. You're going to make, way more money doing the scheduling one though. So, and like I say, you open your own schedule to how you want, to what half hours you want to work and all that kind of thing. And the people sign up. There's a ton of people right now trying to learn English. So that native camp is super busy and they're hiring as many people as they can hire right now. So, I mean, it's an easy job. And, there are some people that will use the mic and the headset thing too. So, if you want to get that and do that, you can. I did my interview today um, live on my computer with a webcam, just boom, and talking to them. And they tested the speed of my internet, tested the speed of my computer, and it qualified. It was just fine. So, yeah. I got a friend of mine that does remote for Destin. She does remote travel agency, booking trips and stuff. And she's been doing it since like Christmas of last year, I guess. And in a year, she's already went and bought a new laptop, but it's not like they were paying for it. So that's kind of. And then I know a girl that works for Regions Bank, remote, and she said they sent her everything, from the modem to the computer to the headphones, all that stuff. And she said, man, it's just amazing that she didn't have to buy a thing. They just ship it all to you. I heard Amazon does the same thing. If you can get on with Amazon, they'll ship you computer and the whole deal, and then I think pay your internet too. So it's something to check out, really. Um, I'm gonna tell you what. This is the third one that's come on here, Roxanne, with this weird spammy stuff. But yeah, it's really interesting. So um it's probably easier just to sign up through their site. Yeah, buddy. You're right, Roxanne. It's a real friendly website, that Native Camp. And you don't have to fill out all kinds of junk. It's not like hours of paperwork or anything. It's really, really easy. And it just totally explains everything. Their videos are kind of long, um, on, explaining what it does, and then showing you a class and stuff. They're like super long. But um, the test, I whizzed right through that bugger. Um, that first test, the questions of how to make sentences, which word fits best in the sentence. That's all it was. And I just went boom, boom, boom right through that sucker, and I got 98%. And you have to pass it. I think it's like 80. You have to have at least 84% to pass or forget it, and then you could come back 6 months and retake that test. So you have to be really, able to, speak a sentence, basically. I can see where people that are foreigners wouldn't be able to do it too good because they don't know how to speak proper English. So all you gotta do is like read the sentence out loud, and it has some missing word in it. That's all it is, and you pick which word is the better word goes in there. It's real simple. But I knocked that out, boom, 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 in no time. And I think it was like an hour test or something. And I did it in about 7 minutes. Wham. Real easy. 40, 50 questions. That was it. Same thing. Fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. So, uh, I was glad it didn't have to put a whole bunch of stuff in there and do pages of crap. And I was really excited. So, very impressive that they don't make you fill out all kinds of garbage, you know. But like I say, I did mine on Indeed. It came up on Indeed, and it shipped my resume over, boom, and then took me to their site, and I did a sign-in thing so that I would have a sign-in thing to get in the site, and went from there. And the only sad part was when I got to the part where I already got my interview, and that you didn't have to wait but seconds for the interviewer to come on. And it was like, boom, boom. I just asked you a few questions. They asked you about your background, if you could change it a little. Because they were like, I had the background of my, bottles of glitter and stuff. And she was like, those sauce bottles in the background there, is there any way you can like cover that up? And I'm like, well, it's not sauce bottles. I'm actually in my office. I have a business. And she was like, oh, but they do prefer you have just a plain background, pretty much. Um, so, but other than that, I did all the stuff in no time, and even watched the video stuff that they wanted me to watch. But the part for the sample class, to do your first class with an employee of Native Camp, wouldn't be but until midnight tonight, till about 11 a.m. And then the rest of the time is 24 hours. But just, you have to do it on their hours. Somebody has to be there to, be the student, the fake student while you're doing a class. And so that sucker was on here last time. I guess they haven't learned. Strips without clothing. How do you strip without clothing? That's what I don't know. Um, but uh, yeah, but yeah, the cool thing is, yeah, the cool thing is, you you can upgrade at any time by doing like they do at Walmart, where you go and watch a video on the computer, and then you get a pay raise. And so Native Camp does that. That you do a video on how to do a type of teaching, like teaching conversation or teaching just words or whatever. And then they give you a badge for every video you watch. So that means you know how to teach that kind of stuff. And then the customers just look at how many badges you have, and if it's stuff they're interested in, if they're just interested in doing conversation, they're interested in doing words. But like I say, it's for any age. You could be teaching little kids, you could be teaching adults, and all they want you to do is just read the script. Read the script. 25-minute long class. Boom, boom. That's it. They rate you, you rate them. You know, you can read other teachers' ratings on that student. You can read a little bit of personal stuff about the student, like, you know, where they're from. You know, it says Japan or China or whatever. You can see that. You see their name. You could see, um, you know, what other teachers graded them. You could see what their interests are. You know, if they're interested in just learning how to do, you know, complete conversation, you know, or something like that. I mean, it's pretty neat, you know. I mean, you're not grading papers, you're not doing any of that stuff. You're just making conversation by reading, you know, a script. That's it. You don't, they really don't want you to make any extra conversation, you know, or anything like that. They just want you to read the script, and they tell you exactly what to do. It's right on every class that you have. The teachers' lines are in red, so like a 1099 position, right? I mean, what are you talking about? Like independent contractor or something? I don't know. All I know is they pay you every 2 weeks. It's like the first and the 15th is when it closes off, and then it takes like 5 days after that to get your pay. And um uh you know, you have to have done at least $30 worth of classes to get paid. And then they take like 10% right off the top before they ship it to the pay thing, which is called Payoneer. And it's kind of like PayPal, but it's not. And then Payoneer takes a small cut. So it works out to, you know, like 8 or 8.25 per half hour booked class on reservations. So you're making $16, $17 an hour if it's reserved classes where people sign up on your thing. But if you just jump on there and do on the spot stuff, you're talking about $5 a class. So you're talking about $10 an hour in pay. So that's kind of what it works out. But they have a whole bunch of bonuses, though. They have all kinds of different bonus plans. You know, for how many classes you do, you know, and how often you're on there. So they have a lot of that other stuff too. So, but it's, to me, it's about the same rate as a beginning DoorDasher, you know, unless bullcrap. You know, no mileage, no car repairs, no mean customers, no crappy restaurants, you know. Um, and you're, you know, I mean, as long as you got internet, I mean, you could do it anywhere. You could do it outdoors, you could do it indoors, whatever. You just can't have any background noise. They're real strict about that. I don't want any background noise at all. So, that's a big thing. So you don't want to do it if you have a house of screaming children and the dog's barking all the time, and one thing they absolutely forbid is playing on your phone. while you're teaching a class. That's a number one no-no. So, but I mean, as long as you speak clear, you speak, good. That's an easy job. There's a ton of Filipinos that are doing this. I don't know how they do it because they don't really speak good. You know, I think that's kind of a bad example for teaching English. You really need somebody who speaks clear. The best is probably someone from England, from Great Britain. They speak really fantastic English. It's very easy to understand when they speak. They have an incredible accent. But other than that, but I mean, you don't have to have a teaching degree or anything like that to do it. 18 and over. You work 24 hours, whichever hours you want to work. And like I say, you don't have to sign up for whole shifts or anything. You just, make your schedule according to the class. If you want to do 4 half-hour classes, you just sign up in those blogs. Yeah, I saw a bunch of YouTube videos on Native Camp, and they're horrible. Ugh. They're so bad. I mean, these people are doing like hour vlogs, and it's like, it takes like 40 minutes for them to get to the point. I hated watching them. And the worst part is, one sentence is English and one sentence is Filipino, and the next sentence is English and the next sentence is Filipino. And that's just so totally confusing. I commented on some of them. I'm like, you really need to do 2 vlogs. One in whatever that language is you're speaking, and one that's just in English. And you'll make twice the pay on YouTube just by having the 2 separate vlogs over the same darn thing. Because it's absolutely aggravating to listen to them, and then all of a sudden, they switch languages, on the next sentence. It's just so confusing. And then there was one where this Filipino girl, and she's not only switched languages, but she had this music, this like piano music playing. And it was, just loud enough where you couldn't tell the piano music, but for her talking. It was pitiful. It was so aggravating because you're trying to direct all your attention to what they're saying, and it's totally distracting when this piano music's just constantly through the whole vlog. It just is goofy. I don't know why people do that. But yeah, so it's a interesting thought. I'm trying to, like I say, they sent me an email just a little bit ago that they're so short of teachers right now, and there's so much demand for the English that they want me to go ahead and do my profile thing right now before I've taken my test. So my profile's set up, and then I guess that's so you can already set up your schedules too. So look at another one. Ha 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 ha. But yeah. But yeah, so we're getting spammed to death tonight, Roxanne. Oh my gosh. Everybody must be watching. Thank you so much. I think they even gave me a thumbs up. I sure hate it for them. But yeah, so it's something to check out. How's your remote job doing? And how did you get your job? Did you get yours off of Indeed, or did you go directly to the company? Because like the Regions girl that I talked to, she said she went directly to Regions to get her job. And I went up there and I couldn't even get it. It's going well. That's really cool. Yeah, I looked at a bunch of them, from real estate to insurance to all kinds of stuff, scheduling, and a lot of them have restrictions, like you've got to be licensed and stuff, and that's so aggravating. Oh God. I worked in their office, and right before the pandemic started, I went online and worked at home. Really? That's funny because the guy on Shark Tank had a guy that was his top dog in one of his corporates, and the pandemic hit, and the guy said, "You know what?" He said, "I quit unless you got a remote position." He's like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "I am not going to work for you anymore because of the pandemic." He said, "But if you can make my job a remote one where I work at home on my computer, then I'll continue on." And I was online from home 2019 or 2020. Wow. And he thought he was crazy. But he created a remote position for him because he didn't want to lose him. But now he's also, it's Mr. Wonderful is the guy. He's also closed down one of his corporate offices because he just didn't have enough employees to be working in it. So he shut it down. So that's the next biggest problem is a lot of companies are going to start folding because they can't get on board employees. So it ought to be interesting. I mean, there's tons of work around here. And they're still paying pretty good. They were paying a little bit higher before, $2 or $3 higher per hour. But people don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. And, I can't blame them with all the remote jobs that are online. Oh my gosh. There are truckloads of them. Like I say, I applied to like 50 of them last night. Yeah, I was kind of surprised I didn't hear a whole bunch. But some of them, you got to go back and take their aptitude tests and all that other junk. And it just takes so much time to go through all that. But this was the easiest one, actually. The native camp. I mean, it's just like I was right on in there, man. Boom, boom. So, I went back in this morning and did some more stuff on there and watched some of their videos. And I was all ready. I did my interview. That was super quick. If that was 3 minutes of interview, I don't know. The questions they ask you is like, are you a U.S. citizen? What is your background? Are you American? And they check your internet and everything right there. They'll tell you we're going to check your speed and stuff and your system. And they check it while you're just sitting there. And they say if it passed or failed. Well, mine passed. My computer and my internet. So that was cool. And she said it was real fast. And I said, well, I haven't even plugged the broadband in, but I can do that right now. And she said, well, okay. And so I plugged the broadband in. And it was even faster. So she was happy both ways. So that's one of your biggest problems with the native camp. If you have really crappy internet, it's not going to be the one to do. If your internet's super flighty. So, the problem is trying to keep mine on. It's already paid for in advance. So, yeah. But other than that, that's about it. I just thought I'd get on here and tell you guys about it. And in case you didn't know, and plus it would be the second American vlog on the entire YouTube about native camp where somebody speaks English. Yeah. Well, it's working today, but we're still where we were last. I did get some letters, and that will be in my next vlog. I got a bunch of those. So we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So that ought to get real good. We got 3. Yeah. God knows what that surprise is. Yeah, so I don't know. But it's a neat service, but it's problematic. I commented in one of their new YouTube vlogs. It was like a commercial for that unit. And I'm like, the unit's okay. It's just like trying to keep it on. I paid in advance for 2 months and can't even keep it on. We've shut it off 2 times in less than 60 days. But yeah, so anyway, so I just thought I'd touch base with you guys and let you know about these ESL things. But I'm gonna try it and see if I'm digging or not. I think it would be fairly easy just because, it's only in 25-minute blocks. That's pretty quick, you know. So, how do you work your shifts on yours? Do you have to be like available for like an 8-hour shift all through it? Do you get breaks? Can you take breaks? How do they do it? Because that's what I wondered, you know? Like, how do you do a bathroom break? Do you just like set it on pause or what do you do? 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., 2 breaks I take and a lunch. Oh my gosh. Wow. So you're able to like walk around your house with headphones on and wait to the next customer, or what do you do? Are you just continually working when you're on? Set your system to no away mode. Huh. Wow. Interesting. Where did you end up getting your headphones? Did they ship them to you or you bought your own? Because I looked at some the other day and there was all different kinds of them. I'm doing mostly emails nowadays, so I don't have to worry about it. Oh my gosh. They gave us the headphones. Is that right? Wow. Hmm. Amazing. Just amazing. That's pretty cool. I have to do calls too from time to time. Yeah, I got my street talk back up. Yay. I got to do a vlog about that too. I got it going today. I was so happy because I have tried to get on there for days and it was a living nightmare. And then finally I just called them and it only took seconds and they got it straightened out. Fantastic. And the card I bought several months back was still good. Usually they're not. Yeah, I talked to a girl at Regions Bank that's remote and asked her how she liked it. She said she absolutely loved it. And she said that she said, and I have an account at Regions. I said, well, I feel sorry for you, but yeah, she said they sent her everything, the computer, headphones, the whole deal. And she was so nice, but she said she absolutely loves it. So you have to just check in and check in on their website. It's like Regions Jobs or something, it says. I checked that day and there was nothing. There was only some for other states or whatever. But she loved working for them, so um I was impressed. You know, I don't know what they pay or anything, but because I didn't find any jobs for me on the remote. But there might be some now. So I don't know. But anyway, yeah, she did tell me one thing. She said, beware of the ones that offer you that bonus sign-on fee and all that. She said that's really bogus. And she said don't do any of those. So yeah, so that's pretty interesting. But I saw some great jobs last night, but so many of them are like, just percentages, instead of by the hour, the commission ones. I'm leery of that commission only thing for sure. I mean, it reminds me of Wyndham Resorts. They get promised those guys are going to make like $90 an hour. And they don't make $90 an hour. They only get commission on everybody they sign up. And I'm telling you, you're not going to make $90. I talked to too many people that were so pissed after they were hired. They were like, I am not getting anything what they promised. So Yeah, I think that's what they do. I think that's what they do. They used to work right next to my work, and I used to get sick and tired of those hustling butts. They're absolutely horrible. Yeah, they tell them that big stupid shit, like, well, you're gonna make $90 an hour. No, no, no. It just depends how good of a personality you are and everything. Because I've talked to a bunch of people that work for them, and they've been working for them a couple weeks or a month or whatever, and they're like, "Man, it is so hard to make money with these people. They tell you this big long thing, and it's like hell." I'm like, really? And I noticed a lot of people. They would go through a ton of people. And it's because, they work 2 weeks or a month and don't make any money. It's sort of like that periodical publishing company I worked for years ago. Promised you a ton of money, big long ad in a paper that says all these wonderful things, and they never tell you exactly what you're making, but what you could make and all that. And it's just a scam. Like I say, I worked there like a month, and man, they like gave me a paycheck for like $27, and I'm like, what is this for? You know, and that's after I paid the $250 to have my car towed. I stayed long enough for that first paycheck, and then when I saw that paycheck, I said, we're all done now. Because this cost me money to work here. Yeah. I had a nice office, though. It was all glass, looked over the ocean, but still, you got to get paid, man. I have friends' houses that overlook the ocean I can go to for free and have barbecue. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great one, and I'll talk to you later. Do something kind for somebody, and I'll see you on the next one. Love you.